Hi guys. Yes, you'll notice it's a different environment. There's a lamp in the back and everything like that. My husband and I tried to get away for the weekend, and drama happened. You may have seen the stuff on Twitter, and drama is the wrong word because drama I would have just avoided. You guys know how I feel about drama. Drama is like wearing pants. I don't like it. I am wearing pants right now, though. Look, pants. So there's drama, and I'm wearing pants. This is a bad day. But you can tell I have my sense of humor back, but I kind of lost it for a bit. And I'm going to do two parts because I don't want to tackle something that requires. This was the mistake I made on Twitter. I tried to tackle something that required like meticulous timelines and specific word choices because everybody gets into like ferrets in a bag on everything. But enough of my Tumblr impression. If you're hearing snorting, it's my husband's off to the side and he's laughing at me. He's normally not in the room when I do things, but he keeps laughing. You can hear him now. He's been listening to me go about this all the time, and now he's laughing harder. But stop laughing. Okay, keep laughing. He's now laughing silently. He's holding his mouth closed to try to avoid laughing. But I don't want to tackle the details and the more thinky. That's the thinky hands. Today because I am in transit and I'm not home, and I want to be able to have sort of more, because you may notice that the writer of that Forbes piece on TotalBiscuit took a direct crack at me on Twitter, and I was like, oh hell no, you talk to me, don't start drama. But I want to talk about the general idea of why this thing hit me so hard, because I think that context matters in these things, and I want to sort of explain my mindset, so when tomorrow I talk about sort of the nuts and bolts of stuff, if I am lacking some elements of my normal good humor craziness, you understand why. If you look at my Twitter feed, you'll see that I object not only to some of the alleged facts presented in that Forbes hit piece on TotalBiscuit, and I do consider it a hit piece, and I'll talk about why. Well, let's talk about it now. I consider it a hit piece because it blurred the lines, first of all, between op-ed and reporting. It was an article that collected quotes from various people and were then basically then, well, but they're wrong. And they didn't actually, it wasn't this is what one side says, this is what another side said. The article took a side, but it wasn't straight up op-ed. And you guys know I don't like that shit where you eat element when it can't seem to figure out what it wants to be, because then I can't figure out what it is. And if somebody's just popping off and it's like, this is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth, no problem. If somebody's just expressing their opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Some people have two. I'm of course referring to Arseface in Preacher. That was a diversion. But if you're just offering your opinion, that's totally fine. When you start walking into the realm of this is fact-based reporting, you are actually trying to make news, that is totally different. And the idea that a month after somebody passes away of a horrible disease, and that is relevant, I believe, and not just going after them, but going after their widow. That was where it crossed the line for me. And that's when it was like, all right, this is not right. And then I saw Jenna Bain's tweet and I was just like, no, she needs to know that some of us are not just going to let this happen. Because I do believe in this case that an accurate remembrance of TotalBiscuit. I hate using the word legacy, but just what happened, who he was the person and who he was the public personality. I do think that is getting lost in the narrative And I won't stand for that, in part because I respect the hell out of the guy and what he managed to accomplish, but also it's just not right. Like, facts need to matter. If facts don't matter, then whoever holds the power gets to dictate reality. And the first people that get, pushed out to sea when that happens are marginalized people with less power, people with less political participation, poor people, sick people, all that stuff. And that is the moral underpinning to why I push back on this so hard. Forgive me, I'm a lawful good character. It's freaking annoying. It annoys me even, because it's like, I just want to shut my mouth on this, but no, it's wrong. Right thing to do is stay in town and testify, even though you have to be somewhere. That's the D&D thing of a lawful good character. But that was what hit me, is that it would be easier for me to just shut up and not draw aggro. But I decided to tank because I can, because quite frankly, I really don't care what some Gamer Ghazi loyalist, they can't do anything to me anymore. They've already caused the damage that they can do. They're shouting into a void at this point, because everybody who's going to block me has already blocked me. Everybody who's going to blacklist me has already blacklisted me. There's nothing they can do to me. And that's their miscalculation going after me at this point. What are they going to do? DMCA my channel? On what grounds? I'm just voicing my opinion. And I do not have two assholes. You can't see my asshole though, because I'm wearing pants. Stupid pants. But that's where I'm at with this. And what is that? Oh, okay. But that's where I'm at with this, is there's just some things that are right, and there are some things that are wrong. And there are some things that are just decent. And there are some things that just say more about the person taking the shot than the person who is being shot at. And I think back to similar situations where I could have just gone like good on someone. Like, the big one for me was when, they took down Milo, when the whole, underage kids thing happened. And I could have gone like, woohoo, yay, but I didn't, because that's not right. And, I'd kind of gotten the sense before all that went down, a long time before that went down, when he was still, back channeling with people who were trying to get me to commit suicide. True story. But, I already got the sense that something was profoundly wrong, and there were signs of childhood trauma. And then when it comes out, he was possibly an abuse victim, well, that wasn't a surprise for me. And even though the guy was, to put it very lightly, not at all nice to me, that doesn't give me the right to then be just as big a bastard back, because then what moral high ground do I have? And I judge other people by the same standard. This idea that the author of this Forbes article put forward, that a month is enough time to let somebody grieve their husband before you start saying that they're responsible for repairing whatever legacy they have. First of all, TotalBiscuit's legacy does not need repairing. TotalBiscuit's legacy is not for social justice critics and Tumblerinas. TotalBiscuit's legacy is with the people who enjoyed his content. And someone who would take a crack at Jenna like that isn't a fan of his content. The true legacy of TotalBiscuit will live on in the minds of his fans, and in the hearts of his fans, and in the continued support that they have for both this pre-existing content and the stuff that Jenna continues to do. And so that's what really matters. Haters gonna hate, liars gonna lie. The fans are the ones that are truly going to carry the thing that's closer to the truth. And I say closer to the truth because fans are fans. They'll probably give him more of a pass, and that's why it's important for critics to have the voice. But I actually think, talking to TotalBiscuit's fans over the last few days, they seem to have a pretty level head about the whole thing. They don't need the guy to be perfect, and they don't need the guy to be a saint. And we had a consensus agreement that he wouldn't want no criticism of him, he'd be okay with that because that's the way he did things. You call balls and strikes as you see them. There's a big difference between criticizing certain actions and demonizing the guy completely. Now, even if you thought he was a horrible person, a truly horrible person, his wife is not responsible for that. I keep thinking about, the people that blamed Harvey Weinstein's wife for his behavior. If you think the guy is this horrible, parasite, abuser, terrible, misogynist, whatever, and to be clear, I think TotalBiscuit was the complete opposite of that. But, even if you think somebody's a terrible person, their spouse is usually their biggest victim. So even in the paradigm where, hey, this author is right and he's a horrible monster, I disagree. That still doesn't give you the right to go after the widow. And this idea that a month is enough time, it's just anti-science. I actually looked this up for the purpose of this video because I thought you guys would want to know, because science, anti-pants. Science good, pants bad. But the science is actually, the studies they found is bereaved people, only about half of the people they studied in this bereavement study, after 6 months, only half of them had stopped showing signs of severe grief. There was another drop off after 18 months. 18 months! So a year and a half. Most people were symptom free after 3 years. So if somebody truly wants to be respectful, I think that actually the most respectful time, if you're going to be a critic, is right during the obituary period, right? Like they did it to Christopher Hitchens. They've done it to some other people who were controversial, and I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. That's actually a more appropriate time than a month after the fact, because then everybody's doing it, and the family, the people grieving, it's all done. They know it's over. If they have to keep holding their breath a month, 2 months, 3 months after the fact, they can never just relax and grieve. So I'm sorry, author of that Forbes piece. What you did was worse. What you did was worse than doing it right away. A respectful period of time would have been at minimum 6 months. According to science, that's just, you have a 50-50 shot of not kicking a person when they're really down. And I mean, obviously that's my opinion of what's appropriate in terms of grief. I personally think that, first of all, TotalBiscuit didn't do anything terrible, so he doesn't deserve this. And his family doesn't deserve this. But I also think that if you do have profound criticisms of someone, you have to remember that there are people around them who don't deserve the ongoing moratorium of things. This is a guy who covered video games for a living. He is not capable of a level of evil that warrants this. Even if he was, there's a time and a place. And that's murky. I admit that's murky. But we don't even have to go there. Because he was a guy who just covered video games. He didn't do anything all that hellfire bad. And the complete lack of scope all down the line has just infuriated me. Because again, facts have to matter. If facts don't matter, then the people who are in power at any given time are the ones that get to set reality. And I will not stand by and let that happen. So I'm going to continue this tomorrow when I'm not in transit. I'm still going to be pretty freaking tired, so it should be epic. Maybe I won't wear pants. But, yeah, I just wanted to do a little thing because I got to get cracking on the next Lady Bit script, too. I got to dump the hard drive and just get on to the next thing because I can't wallow in this. So if you don't see me around Twitter for the next little bit, that's why. I'm just trying to get away from it. But hope you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I know I looped around a bit, but I am still really pissed about this. I normally say, no. I will tell you guys when I am actually pissed off or upset about something, so you know when I say I'm not pissed about something, you can believe me. Right now, I'm pissed off. This isn't right.